So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Rich Clark, Guide to the Right Path. And to carry on the series of sacred scents, and I've done already myrrh, and I've also done jasmine, to the third one to actually create a special blend, I'm going to talk about juniper berry essential oil or juniper essential oil and its spiritual connotations. So the essential oil comes from the berries, and it's been known to strengthen the nerves and bolster your spirit, basically your uprising of how you feel. It's very useful for women's issues, and it aids detox for water retention and also helps with issues such as menstrual cycles and cramps. Also, juniper has always been known as a relieving anxiety. And the actual word juniper actually is from the Latin, which is juniper, which is actually berry. So actually, when we hear of the word June, June is actually from the god Jupiter, but then we also juniper also means the berries. So what's its sacred symbolism? Well, there's a few. It's been known for years in ancient Europeans and Middle Eastern culture that if you burn juniper branches to ward off evil spirits, plagues, and dark forces. Also, it was a threshold guardian, so juniper was planted near homes or temples as a boundary between the mundane and the sacred. It's also been known as a purification and renewal. Its sharp, fresh scent symbolizes cutting away stagnancy and inviting renewal, the same as myrrh. That's why it works very well with myrrh to get rid of dead spirits and energy. And jasmine also is then the uplift to bring new energy in. So that's why it works very well. It's spiritual energetics. Now, people would usually say it works with the solar plexus chakras or the third eye, and I would recommend it for both because it does these things. It clears mental fog, it sharpens your intuition, and it strengthens your inner vision and discernment. It also empowers the will and restoring confidence. So, juniper is probably one of these essential oils which is not talked about very much. And the berries, just to show you, are actually these. So, these berries you get, and if you actually notice, these berries you probably will notice have been in gin because you actually make gin from juniper berries. So, it's interesting that it's actually got a spiritual connotation, but it also can be used for gin. But also, gin was originally used before it was drinking, it was used as an antiseptic to clean wounds. Its traditional and cultural beliefs of using juniper was indigenous and shamanic use, and it was burned in sweat lodges and ceremonies for purification and protection before spiritual journeys. Its European folk magic was hung over doors and stables to protect against theft, illness, and witchcraft. Its biblical references, juniper, sometimes translated as the broom tree, appears in the Old Testament as a place of refuge and spiritual renewal. Juniper is also used as many remedies. You will see that in the New Testament as well. Now, its psychological and hypnotherapy links is banishing fear and anxiety. So it clears intrusive thoughts and helps release paranoia, fear of attack, and fear of the unknown. So when I'm working with clients, if they can get, they want to clear and they want to calm down with chamomile, but juniper is also good to reward spirit, especially when you're sleeping. And so I would recommend juniper, myrrh, and chamomile for going to sleep with. Also, inner cleaning, useful for clients who feel polluted by toxic relationships, past trauma, or environment. So again, it's a clearing out. This is why it's known aid detention for water retention because it removes stuff from the body. Also, strengthening boundaries. So it encourages autonomy, clarity of decision, and the courage to say no. Now, its practical ritual use. This is what it's mainly used for. It was used as the bush or as the is used for smudging and diffusion. So burning or diffuse to clear negative energy for spaces before ritual or meditation. Anointing, so diluted oil applied to the temples or solar plexus for protection and clear vision. So if you use this for anointing oil, jasmine, myrrh, and juniper, you will have a good version of an anointing oil before for protection and before meditation. And its protective charms is juniper berry carried around as talismans for spiritual shielding and safe travel. So juniper is the guardian plant of purification and vision. It's a spiritual shield that cuts through illusions, clears away negativity, and empowers the seeker with clarity and courage. And as for next week, I'll be discussing the next spiritual sense of free you can use to help you get to sleep and ground you, and also helps with other things. But until then, if you are interested, please contact me at info@richclark.net for anything you want to know about essentials, and I will be doing PDFs of this soon, which will be available to buy. Speak to you soon.